Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bella's Bookshelf, the podcast where we dive deep into stories that stay with us long after we've closed the final chapter. I'm your host, Bella, and if your nightstand is currently buried under a mountain of books, you're exactly where you belong. So grab your favorite drink, find a cozy spot, and let's open up the bookshelf. Okay, so I just want to start by saying that, I'm overwhelmed by the book releases this year. I just feel like they're all these big hitters are just coming week after week, and I cannot keep up. So my TBR is taking a sidestep with all these new releases because a new release comes out and then I have to prioritize that. So
It's like 2012 Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yeah.
All these movies. All these
It's
movies
really
are coming
all
out.
these big books are releasing. And then also, and I'll talk about this a little bit at the end, but people that I know are writing books now. So it's obviously I have to prioritize those because that's super cool. So I talked about this last time, but Rights of Sterling came out a few weeks ago, which is the sequel to Shields of Sparrow by Devney Perry. And so I read that. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it immediately went on Kindle Limited when it was released, which I cannot say the same for some other new releases. So that was cool. So I downloaded that, read it on Kindle, and yeah, it was really well done. So they introduced a new point of view, a new character that we didn't know from the first book. So the first book is essentially one POV, and then the very, very end.
Point of view.
Yeah, POV is point of view. At the very, very end, we get a POV from the main male character, but it's mainly one female. So the second one starts, and we get this new POV of this new girl, and we don't know when or where she's existing. It's always hard for me when a new character is introduced because you feel so attached to the other ones that you've already known, for a book or for many chapters, and then when they introduce a new one, it's you feel this okay, get back to the one that I know, the one that I love, right? But then the more you read the new one, and this happens in Throne of Glass as well. What's so brilliant about the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas is that she introduces new characters as the series goes on. Every time a new character is brought up, you're like, oh, okay, another character. But then slowly you grow to love them, and so that's exactly what happened. And it's really brilliantly written because you don't know when or where this character exists until kind of the end. It all comes together and you're like, oh my gosh, now you understand how the story fits together. So that was a really cool way. The romance between the male character, the main male character, and the female male character kind of take a back seat in this book, but it's a trilogy, which the author just announced that she finished writing the third book. I'm not sure about the release date for it, but it was well done. I liked it. So yeah. What else in the fantasy world? I am rereading. I'm on book 3 for my reread for ACOTAR. So, Court of War and Ruin. It's probably it's a hard tie between book 3 and book 5 for my second favorite. But I kind of learned a lot about old-fashioned warfare by reading this book, which sounds really lame, but there's a lot of war tactics and strategy that are talked about in it, so I think that's kind of cool fantasy element.
Did you do any research on how closely tied to reality?
I mean, it all sounds familiar about how the Revolutionary and Civil War time periods, with flanking and holding the line.
Pincer movements.
Well, yeah, they don't get that technical, but I just read a point in the book where for a day or two, they've been consistently holding the line and pushing through the enemy, right? And all of a sudden, it becomes very apparent that that line they've been holding gets broken through. And it's the significant turning point in the battle of, oh my gosh, we just lost the line for, like, the first time, and it's, like, a really, really big deal. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but
Yeah.
it's a big deal, and that's when they know they need to go into their plan B, so to speak.
Mhm.
Uh, the writing is it's just good. I like it. I'm enjoying my reread. I'm trying to pace myself because once I get through the 3rd book, I feel like 4 and 5 are gonna go quickly, and I have until October to, like, stretch this out. So but I'm enjoying it. It's always nice rereading stuff because you pick up on stuff that you don't, um, catch the first time, and then also it's a good refresher.
So you said this is tied for your second. Your first one, what? Second book?
Yeah, the second one is my favorite.
This is a good book.
Yeah.
That's about as
Yes,
far as I got.
and we are gonna do an episode. It's probably gonna have to be 2 episodes, if I'm being honest, on book 2, because the first one was, like, 2/3 of the size, and we took, like, 1 hour 15 on that,
It was a long episode, yeah.
so yeah, we'll probably do part 1 and part 2 for Court of, uh, Mist and Fury, 'cause it deserves that. It's that good. So we'll get there. Those are a little bit more planned, strategically planned episodes, so in the next, like, 1 or 2 episodes, we'll plan that out. What else in fantasy? I finished book 3 of the Trial of the Sun Queen series. Book 3 is The Fate of the Sun King. It's good.
Who's the author on that one?
Nisha J. Tooley, and I'm doing the audiobooks. And I mentioned this in the beginning, but there's complaints about the female narrator being kind of whiny, which I agree with, but it's not enough for me to not listen to it because
Mhm.
the rest of it's good. It's a really good story, so
It's true. The voice of a individual really does play a giant role in the perception of that individual and the story of that which they're telling.
yeah, so if that kind of stuff bothers you, I would advise you to just read it on, like, eyeball read it, so to speak, so they say. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've moved on to the 4th book, by now, and ready to see the culmination of all the storylines come together, so it's a good one. I feel like it's kind of a quicker read. The world building is not super complicated in that series, so it's a really good one if you're looking to start a new fantasy series. Um, so yeah, in fantasy, that pretty much covers fantasy. Contemporary romance, I'm in a little bit of an Emily Henry phase. I have read Happy Place and Book Lovers. Happy Place, super cute. One of those love stories that, like, it kind of reminded me of, A Love Letter to Whiskey. It reminded me of that story because it's just one of those love stories where, like, this couple is, like, trying to find the right time, and they just can't find the right time. Um,
Time to get together?
yeah, to, like,
Eight.
for it to work out,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Busy
Like,
individual
the
lives.
well, it's more than that. It's like the circumstances just never come together the way they need them to. Um, but yeah, so I've met a group of friends that they've been friends since, like, college, and then now they're all out of college and living their separate lives, and they're coming back together for, like, a vacation, and in some ways, their lives are all the same right back to when they were in college, right? But in other ways, everything's super different because they all have their own lives now, and they're trying to, like, keep that from
Relatable.
keeping them apart.
Mhm.
Um, but you kind of learn throughout reading it that, like, that's life, right? People go on and do different things. It doesn't mean you can't still, have the same friends or do the same things, but you just have to accept that life moves on and there's different changes. So
Yeah.
it's a good
Yeah,
story.
that's really relatable.
And then the other Emily Henry book, which I would rate above that one, it's called Book Lovers, and I love it's like an anti contemporary romance. In the beginning, the main female character literally, like, talks about how cliché it is that, like, the big city woman moves to the small town, like, all the Hallmark movies that you hear about, she literally makes fun of those, and, like, all the men that decide they wanna move from the big city to a small town to have a simpler life,
Hallmark.
and she's literally been dumped by these men. She's a big city woman with a competitive job and a Peloton that she's in love with, very type A, and she's literally been dumped by these men that have decided they wanna move to, out away from the city to have simpler lives, and she's like, it's such a cliche that everyone always leaves her because she likes living in the city and she likes having a busy life and a high-paying job, and so right off the bat, I was like, "Wow, this is, like, totally, like, anti what I'm used to," and she's a literary agent. So she literally, like, is in charge of authors that write books about this very thing, or not in charge of, but literary agents kind of work as, like, go-betweens between authors and editors, so I kind of learned about that process, so that's cool. But yeah, so essentially her and her sister live in New York City, and her sister wants to take a vacation in this small town, and she's like, "Ugh, what a cliche," but she does it, and, she ends up getting her own story, and it's really good. So yeah, Emily Henry, 2 Emily Henry books this month that I enjoyed. And then the other contemporary romance, I finished Playing for Keeps book 2. The first one is called Consider Me. This is hockey romance. The first one is called Consider Me, the second one is called Playing for Keeps. I consider them pretty up there on my hockey romance series books, which there's tons out there. I've been audiobooking them though, and the narrators are very good. So, book 2, for Playing for Keeps, called Play With Me. It is a, um, dating best friend's younger sister trope, which the only thing that really annoyed me about it was, like, why is dating your best friend's younger sister such a problem? Like, it should not be that big of a deal.
'Cause it's your best friend's younger sister.
Right, but, like, and in this particular one, like, this girl has got, like, some trauma, so I guess her brother's being, like, super protective of her, which I get, but it kinda drags on for, like, too long. I would say that's my only critique with, like, the secrecy of it. Other than that, it was good, classic. I enjoy the series because they bring in characters from, like, the first book that you read, and so on, so it was good. And then their contemporary romance I read is Bluebird Gold, which I got into it because it's by Devney Perry, who wrote that Rights of Starling book that I talked about in the beginning. So she writes fantasy, she also writes contemporary romances similar to Rebecca Yarros. So that's the only reason I got turned on to it, and, I also love that it took place in the 1980s, so I guess contemporary being a loose term, but I just thought that was neat. Typically, you read about books that take place in, like, current times, but this one was in the 1980s, so you have to, like, take away cell phones and just other things that you think about being normal,
Mhm.
but it's a girl.
Friends.
Yeah.
That's well, I mean, maybe
Friends is, like,
Fri
90s.
Friends was early 90s-ish.
Yeah. So, it's this, woman that her dad passes away, and she lives in, like, I don't know if it's Arizona, I think it's Arizona, and her dad lives in this small town in Montana, and so she moves there temporarily to kind of settle his affairs. Um, she's living in this, cabin, and she kinda feels like she's being watched, and, just spooky things start happening to her at this cabin, and she starts meeting people in the town and getting to know them, and, it's a cute romance. And the main male character is the sheriff of the Montana town. His name is Cassie Rains, which is one of those 10 out of 10, main male character names.
Cossey Rains.
Cassie Rains,
How do you
yep.
spell that?
Cosi, Rains.
Cosi. like
R No,
rains
I believe it's
or
I don't know, I audiobooked it, so
rains.
I was picturing it as Reighns, but I could be wrong
Hmm.
because I audiobooked it, so
I feel like Tim Allen and Home Improvement just now. How do you spell that?
yeah, and the girl's name is Ilsa, which I've heard better girl names. Anyway, I have a crush on Cassie Rains, which is a lot
Cassie?
to say that because he has a mustache, which I'm not normally a huge fan of, but in the 80s, the mustaches were in.
Even more so in the 70s, I'd say.
Well, yeah, this dude's got a mustache and she's obsessed with it, so I would say it's a little bit of a fast-moving relationship, but the story overall is really good. It's got a little bit of like a gold mining, treasure hunting vibe. The dad has she found all these maps from her dad with this gold,
It's the Goonies.
uh, sort of. Yeah, so I liked it. Devney Perry's contemporary romances are good, and she has more of them. So I'm looking. I'm uh I'm into. I'm gonna look into more of those. But yeah, Bluebird Gold. It was very good. Okay, and the other one, which I didn't really know how to categorize, that I've recently finished, Magic Hour by Kristen Hanna. So I've only read her historical fiction books
Yeah,
so far. This is categorized as a psychological fiction, not a psychological thriller.
interesting.
Um,
I didn't know that she broke the mold.
yeah, she doesn't do only historical fiction. So it is about this really small town. I don't know what year. I think it's not quite modern times. I'm pretty sure I don't think there's cell phones or anything. I'm unclear on the time period, but I do think it's a little bit in the past. But this little girl, like 6, shows up in this small town and she is like an anomaly. She just showed up in a tree and there's a lot of points of views that you get in the book. One of them, it's mainly about 2 sisters. One sister is this psychiatrist that lives, I don't know, she lives not far away from this small town, and the other sister is the sheriff of this small town. And the sister that's the sheriff, they discover this girl in the tree, and she looks like she's just completely uncivilized. Like she has not been raised by. She doesn't know. She doesn't speak. She kind of acts very animalistic, almost like she was like raised literally with animals.
Jungle Book.
And she's found with this little baby wolf, actually. So they take the wolf and um, they have to like, uh, what's it called when you like put someone to sleep?
Euthanize.
No, not death, but
Well,
like put them to sleep. Oh my gosh, what is the term when you? Okay, anyway.
tranquilize?
Yeah, but the human version of that.
I would say tranquilize.
No,
Sedate.
sedate. Thank you. They have to sedate this girl because she like goes crazy. And then the sheriff brings in her sister, the psychiatrist, to work with this girl who actually specializes in working with adolescents and young children. But the crazy part is the sister just got finished filing a case. A patient of hers, I think, brought a gun into a school and killed some people. And so her parents were we're trying to sue this woman, her doctor, basically. And, like, the argument is, as her doctor, why couldn't you see that she was gonna do something like this, right? Which really, in my opinion, isn't fair, and she won. Her lawyer basically proved that there's no way that, like, she could have known this was gonna happen, basically.
Right.
So anyway, that whole thing was happening, but then all her other patients, like, quit on her. And so she was, like, super down in the dumps, and then she gets this phone call from her sister saying, "Hey, we have this girl.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's, like, one of the best psychiatrists in the country." And she's like, "I think you should come work with this girl because we need to get her talking and figure out who she is." They have no idea who she is, right? And that's all I'll say. That sets the scene. But it's really incredible. You get multiple POVs. And it's really good. Kristen Hanna, as always, it's very good. At the end, I love it. I love her writing, so I'm gonna, highly recommend Kristen Hanna if you have not broken into her. Start with The Nightingale and The Woman, and then move into Magic Hour if you want, but those two are my favorite.
The Woman is still on my TBR.
The
TBR just grows and grows.
And The Great Alone.
And The Great Alone.
Which is close to home because we lived in Alaska. So
many books on my TBR.
Yeah, Sam, you can't even use TBR sacredly because you don't.
See, I love the idea of reading. I do, and I enjoy reading. I just don't make it a part of my daily life.
Okay, so here's the thing, and this is what people always tell me, and I go on monologues about it. When people go, I don't understand how you have so much time to read.
That much time.
Okay,
I understand it.
Okay, all I say to them is you make time for what you love to do.
Yeah, it's not a criticism.
So if people are not reading as much as I'm reading, then that probably is not their favorite thing to do.
Yeah, maybe it's sleep, like me.
Yeah, my favorite thing, I would say reading is above sleep, which I guess, is it healthy or unhealthy? I don't know.
I think your balance is pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's unhealthy. I only stay up late reading, like too late, when I have something on my mind that I can't get off my mind.
Or it's just a book it's that good.
Yeah,
There's been a few of those where you're like, I just could not stop hiding.
I would say like a handful. But typically if I'm reading through the night, it's because I have something on my mind that I don't want to be thinking about. So I kind of use it as a coping mechanism. So, and typically it's like 15 to 30 minutes. Some nights I don't even make it 5 minutes before I fall asleep.
And it's just like kind of your time filler too in the day. It's like, oh, I don't.
Oh yeah, I read on my lunch break.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, which a lot of people choose to not.
No, everybody fills their time differently. It's just the people who are reading as much as you are just filling the blank space with reading.
Yeah, I always have a book on me, like, and you'd be surprised, like, how often I whip it out, even with kids, like, you never know, like, we've got a 40-minute drive to Waterworld, like, I'm bringing my Kindle, like, it's just how I'm wired.
Or even at Waterworld.
Well, yeah, so far we have not established a good enough routine there where I have been able to read a book.
Today was awesome. Just gonna say, today was awesome. You would have been able to read.
Yeah, I would love to recreate that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, like I mentioned in the beginning, like, so many new releases, and, like, I just wanna talk about, like, what's on my TBR that's, like, busting my whole TBR is these next few reads because I'm just so excited about them.
Prioritizing them over everything else.
Yes, exactly. So Trial of War by J.E. Larson just recently came out, and I am so bummed I, like, forgot to pre-order it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I put my order in.
I thought you did.
No, I
I
didn't.
thought we talked about that last episode.
Yeah, we did. I said, "I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered it," and then I double-checked with her, I didn't. So it's okay. I ordered it. She's mailing it to me. But that's coming out, that's the author that we lived near in Alaska. And this is the 4th book of her Valdor series, which completes the series, so I'm very excited to read that. I completely wasn't tracking this, but the sequel to Silver Elite, which Silver Elite is that book that you got me,
So the rings?
no.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember.
You got it from me right before we left Alaska, and then I actually read it on our road trip last year. So the sequel to that already came out, Broken Dove, which it's funny when, like, a sequel comes out within, like, 12 months of the other one coming out because I'm so used to, like, Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros that take, like, 2 to 3 years in between their books. So when, like, an author puts out, like, 2 books in a year, that's a lot. It's quick. So, very excited for Broken Dove, which is the sequel to Silver Elite by
2 different types of authors.
Well, and I think writing is a very mental game, and Rebecca Yarros talked about this. People were complaining about her release dates being so far, and she's like, "Look, this takes up, like, a lot of my time making these deadlines, and she's like, "If I'm gonna take 3 or 4 months off to, like, be with my family and, like, give myself a whatever," like,
Yeah, who is
you know what I
anyone
mean?
else to, like, be like, "Oh, you're not producing enough." It's like, come
And
on.
Sarah J. Maas is getting the same critique, like, 'cause we're going on when was the book 5 published? We're going on, like, 6 or 7 years between releases.
That's a
So,
that's
people are
yeah.
people are, like, going crazy, right? But at the same time, I'm like, "Look, like, no matter when her
I
book
get
comes
it,
out, we're
though.
gonna
It's
buy
like,
it."
if you
Like,
if you don't need the money and you're just writing for fun at this point because you have the following and you have the steady income, it's like, who is anyone else to dictate to me when I decide to write my next book?
no, exactly, and when you do start writing it, the process what do they say in Toy Story? You can't rush art,
Yeah, I love that line
right?
so much. I use that
And
every day.
like, I forget, I was just reading an Instagram about an author. I don't know if it was book 3 for Devney Perry for
Mm,
After Rites of Starling, but she was like, "We just pushed the release date, like, 8 months." And she's like, "I know you guys are upset about this," but she's like, "We wanna do this right, and, like, X, Y, and Z has to come together, and we didn't want it to be rushed." And I'm like, "Look, if you can sit back and make that decision, I think that's
yeah.
I'm fine with that." Like, there's gonna be enough releases where
Yeah,
I will be
it's not like there's not thousands of other books I can read in the
I
meantime.
know, like,
No.
my TBR is only, like, 100 books.
Yeah, no.
For real. So yes, Valdor series is complete by Jerry Larson. Very excited. Broken Dove, Danny Francis, and then, the other big one, which I would say is a little bit lower on my list right now, but I am excited about it, is The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker, which is the, sequel to, When the Moon Hatched.
Hmm.
So I When the Moon Hatches on Kindle Unlimited, which is how I read it, and I would say it was really hard to get into the world building because it's a very, poetic writing, which she gets kinda critiqued for because, you kinda gotta be focused when you're reading that kinda stuff. You can't just, like so that's what makes the world building kind of challenging. Um And the main character kind of has this alter ego, and at first, like, don't understand what's happening as you're getting the main character and you're this alter ego, and you're also getting flashbacks of letters that the main character wrote when she was younger or sorry, diary entries from when she was younger, so you kind of it's difficult to piece everything together, but then you kinda start to realize what's happening. So I'll probably need to do a reread, but I'm hearing really good things about the sequel. If you're a dragon girly and you're into dragons, this is the series for you. It's got dragons in it, so I'm excited about that. But that's probably of all these books, it's the lowest on my list, just because of the mental effort that her writing kind of takes. The final 2 I'm gonna talk about are, written by people that I know, which is, like, really exciting to talk about, right? So the first one,
What is
was
the first
by
one?
a friend of mine, that I used to work with years ago, and we still keep in touch. Her name is Bailey Marshall, and, she's writing a book called, Helix Sequence, and if I'm mispronouncing that, Bailey, I'm so sorry. But I applied to be an ARC reader for her, so I'm really excited. I should be getting, like, an advanced copy soon. Um, but, her little motto on her social media is, "I hope I make you cry." So I'm very excited.
How do you spell that?
It is Halonyx.
Eh, say it again. Halonyx.
Halonyx. Is that right?
Halonyx?
Halonyx? Halonyx?
I would've said Halonyx.
Okay,
Maybe it's
Halonyx.
Halonyx.
Um,
I don't know.
but,
Sorry, Bailey.
Bailey, I know, is in, like, the cybersecurity world, super smart girl, and I'm pretty sure her main female character is, like, a hacker, which is really cool. I've never read a female main character, like that. So and it's she's preaching that it's an enemies to lovers and an extreme slow burn, which both of which I love. So very excited to read that and report back to you guys. And then the second, recent release that I'm excited to read is Veil Walker, by ND Mo, and ND Mo, Noah Mo, happens to be my brother-in-law, so I'm very excited. He just released you can buy a paper copy, on Amazon, or you can buy a Kindle copy.
Yep. He's working on the audiobook. I think he said he wants to do his own narration.
It's a lot.
He also teased the idea of throwing it into AI and letting Michael Caine be the voice, but I was like, I don't think that you can do that, bro, without some licensing agreements there, but I think he was kidding. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's very cool. It's apparently something he's been working on for years and years.
like literally years. I think this has just been the culmination of his entire childhood up until now. He this is my brother for all y'all. He kind of like Tolkien, Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings to create a world for this language that he developed. And, Noah kind of always had his own little language that he developed from the time that he was a little kid. And so I don't know if that it's exactly the same, and I don't know a lot about the story because it's also on my TBR, but I think he did kind of something similar. He just kind of had this world in his mind for so long, and he finally had the time to put pen to paper on it. So I'm excited for him and uh, the whole process here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's lit. I love having like it on seeing it on my Kindle and like, you know, seeing like a finished product. What I spoke to him about last week. Like he had the book in his hand, he was showing me, and I was like, "Isn't it cool to like hold that in your hand?" Um,
And the fact that my mom was able to order it like a couple days after it was available on Amazon, she ordered it, and like 2 days later, she had a physical paper copy in her hand. I was like, and this is getting away from the point, but it was just, I was kind of amazed how Amazon was able to just produce a paperback copy of a book that was literally just released. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. I know he's super excited. I'm super proud.
yep. So we're excited about that. So in the coming weeks, I will report back about some of these new releases. But yeah, so there's just so many books, so many good books to read. It's hard to pick. I'm going on a girls' trip with one of my best friends from college this weekend. It's our 10-year college reunion, and because we both live in Colorado, we just kind of planned like a local get together. So we actually read Book Lovers to talk about this weekend as like a little mini book club by Emily Henry. And then we're just planning on like exploring the mountains, having hot tub time, and reading books undisturbed by roommates and by children and by annoying husbands.
Mainly children.
No, I'm just kidding.
You
It
know,
is my
the
first.
kids are just gonna be perfect angels for me while you're gone.
Yeah, I know. This is my first time away and overnight from our newest baby
Yes, baby.
and from all three kids. So I'm a little nervous. Not that I don't think Sam can do it. I just feel bad being here to help you. But they are typically better for him. I don't know why. I think they just have too much emotion when they're around me.
It's because mom is comfort, and mom is, I need XYZ, and mom is there. And when you're gone, they're, they understand that, hey, dad's not going to be as accommodating to your outlandish requests. So it's a good time though. I mean, they definitely push my buttons too. But they're really good kids. And like today we went to Waterworld for 6 hours or so, and I didn't have the baby, and I think that was probably a significant help, but because we were able to do a lot more with just, you know, Daniel member. But they listened mostly, and when I said, okay, it's time to go, they were like, oh, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay, but like, we're going to go. And they're like, okay, fine. So,
She's got a good day.
yeah, they're really great. And they push buttons when they want to push buttons. But
Yeah.
no, it's going to be a good weekend. They're going to be okay. And Daniel's definitely going to help me out with Roro. And Emmer's probably going to be Ember.
And you guys are going to go to church on Sunday. And the funny note about church, I know we've gotten kind of off topic, but if you want to just hear about our lives, is that our church this weekend is doing a service as an entire family. Yeah. So there's no
No, it's not
there's
happening.
no children's ministry. They're just doing it like it's a fifth weekend of the month, and so they're just trying to do something different. And they're
Our church has a they have 2 services a week normally, but they also have a kind of, I guess, a Hispanic branch or so of the church, and they have their own meeting time. It's typically in Spanish. But every once in a while they like to kind of join services, and they do a bilingual service, which is honestly super neat. However, in this specific case, they don't want to do multiple services in a bilingual fashion, so they're doing one service.
but they're giving a break to all the volunteers at the
Right, I was
church.
getting there.
Yeah.
But because they're only going to do one service, they want everybody to be able to participate in it. So there is no children's ministry because they want all the volunteers to be able to engage in this one bilingual service. But that means that we have to bring our crazy infants and toddlers and 5 and 6-year-olds to this one service that they're definitely not going to be able to pay attention to or want to pay attention to.
But that's the point. Is
It is the point, but that, and they even said like, oh, if you hear these kids, you're older and you don't have kids anymore, they're all grown and whatever, and you have these kids
just give us a
near you that are being crazy and annoying, just treat these families with love and kindness and acceptance and help them out if you can. And I'm just thinking here as a parent of like, I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah,
like,
we are in the
and Bella's not gonna be here. And I'm like, dear
So I think
God,
that's the cherry on top is that I'm not going to be there.
it's me with 3 kids.
But you have other people that can help you. So if you choose not to go, that's okay. But just know you've got the Faulkner girls that can
I'm about to
wrangle.
Life Church.
Okay, well, whatever you choose.
Because they like Life Church. I don't know what it is about
Daniel does not.
Life Bridge he has a problem with.
Oh, Life Church.
But Life Church, for whatever reason,
Okay,
especially if Uncle Noah is going to be there.
I'm just saying don't count it out, okay?
I'm not counting it out, but man, it does not sound fun.
Well, it's just different.
How am I supposed to get anything out of it when I'm wrangling the kids the whole time?
Anyway, we'll probably have to. Anyway, okay, yeah, so that's it. Oh yeah, just looking at my bookshelf here real quick. If you guys didn't hear the news, Michael B. Jordan is moving forward with production for the Fourth Wing TV show, and then in addition to that, a director has been named for Rebecca Yaros's movie The Things We Leave Unfinished, which of all her contemporary romances, that is my second favorite. She says that it's her favorite of all her contemporary romances. It's up there for me. Oh, it might be my third favorite though. My favorite is definitely uh The Last Letter. And then In the Likely Event and The Things We Leave Unfinished are tied. It's funny enough though, both of those are becoming movies, so I'll keep you updated.
I wonder if she's like doing better in these big series like Fourth Wing or these smaller one-offs.
I don't know. Because those are the ones that are becoming movies, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I don't know. I don't know how the royalties work with all that stuff. Because when it comes to the shows and the movies, like, The directors have the most creative control with that stuff.
It's starting to feel like, Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah, he's had a handful of his made into movies. But yeah, very exciting to start
Handful.
seeing.
It's more than a handful.
Yeah, it's very exciting
It's good
to
writing.
see this start. The only problem is we're all desperately waiting for the fourth wing to be casted, and I just feel really bad for whoever's casting these roles and like their mental state, because all of us just want like AI generated people to play these roles, and that's obviously not possible. It's gonna have to be a real human. So like Zayden is probably never gonna live up to our expectations, but like
That's y'all's own fault.
well, it's
It's y'all's own fault. Y'all are feeding these things into AI generators, and you're
and
you're idolizing these perfect visions, and it's just I don't know.
that's why I love reading. That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
No, I get it. I just don't know that.
No, but it's just funny that we're all like Kayla Books. Shout out to Kayla Books. She is like, I will never be happy with anyone but this for Zidane, and it's one of like my favorite. It's actually not AI. It's an actual digital artist. She did this rendering of Zayden, and all of us are like, that's the perfect Zayden, and nothing will ever come close to that.
Okay, you want my comparison here?
What?
No one other than Alan Rickman will be good enough for Snape except Adam Driver.
Yeah. Yeah. You just build it up in your head, and it's okay.
Like, Adam Driver would be the perfect young Snape or recasted Snape, if they had to, which obviously they have to because they're creating this series on HBO, but whatever.
Oh, it's hard. It's almost like sometimes I don't want them to make a show or movie because it's like it lives in my head and I just don't ever want it to be different. But then also I want it to be different. So
Yeah.
But okay. We'll shut up for now. Look forward to updates on those new releases and also in-depth coverage of Court of Mist and Fury, my favorite ACOTAR book. Okay, peace out. Thanks for listening.